my God!
A kick out!
What the hell is this? Oh, God!
Oh my! Push! Canceler!
Unbelievable!
Has been an absolutely brutal display.
Oh, my God!
That was freaking insane!
Make yourself famous!
Talk about a high-risk maneuver.
What?
The new champion! OCW has returned in 2022 with OCW Double Tap. I am Drake Stacy, joined as always by the Wigman, Max Mercury. And today we are covering OCW Double Tap 2022, as I just said. Before we jump into that, we had a little bit of a mishap today with the shows and the scheduling. Long story short, CXW versus OCW Battleground 2 will be going up tomorrow instead of today after the technical difficulties that we did have. That's all right. No harm done. Just gonna do it tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's just a quick announcement regarding the rest of the week, or not the rest of the week, for tomorrow. Jesus Christ.
So many shows left.
So many. There's what? Like 3, 5. There's like 7 shows left, and then like 3 more singles matches left.
Yep. 3 more awards too. The top 10 matches of the year is like 30 minutes, so everyone stay tuned for that. Or at least when this comes out, you have already have watched it, hopefully.
I am interested to see who or what rather makes that list. Yeah. So we'll see. Hoping an OCW match. Don't need to be number 1, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think from 2021, excluding a Rumble, I don't know.
I have to
yeah,
keep
exactly.
my lips sealed, man.
Yeah, that's my own speculation. Like excluding a Royal Rumble, maybe there's like 1 or 2 off the top of my head that could potentially fit there.
I don't know. There were so many great matches. So either way, I'm gonna make somebody angry with my picks.
I mean, probably, but
it's par for the course.
Yeah. So, but it is your decision, and that's just how it is. Yeah. So whatever you decide is what you decide. All right. So let's jump into OCW. Obviously, it's my show, so I need to be as unbiased as possible, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to critique my own work openly while also getting your thoughts and feedback on it as well. All right. So I'm like looking over here, like I need to grab my notebook, but I'm just like, it's my own
it's
show.
All right here.
I before the show too, I was like, I don't need to take notes. This is my own show that we're doing.
You made it from scratch. You know everything.
Or at least I should know everything that happened on my own show. So, all right. So we opened with the match that was set up at Rise of the Phoenix, Del Rey versus the debuting Chris Torres. She's the one woman that I wanted to talk to you about whether or not she should be labeled Gen 3 or Gen 4.
Okay, so that's kind of so there's a lot of cars who may have made their first appearance during Gen 3 but may have not had their first debut. Honestly, I'm just gonna leave it to the creators and however they want it to be. So I guess however you want Chris Torres to be, if you want her to be Gen 3 or Gen 4.
I guess I think I'd rather her be like Gen 4 because she is still like brand new.
Yeah.
And her only other appearance was just the backstage segment with Ray.
Okay.
So that's how I would view her anyway. So
I would agree. I think that's how I have it right now. And I was just going to change it in case you thought differently.
Yeah, no. If she had wrestled at Rise of the Phoenix, then I would say, yes, she is a Gen 3 talent. But because she didn't,
she's Gen 4 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll let you start.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really impressed by Chris Torres. I did like her style because she's kind of like an MMA fighter as a lot of grappling. We don't really see that much besides maybe like a couple like Brooke Danger and Caleb and Mercier, but it was a nice change of pace. You know, it really sets her out differently from the rest of the OCW originals. I do think maybe this match went just like a tad long, like maybe a couple seconds, but it's like a tiny nitpick. It was still a great match. I was surprised to see Del Rey win and not have Chris Torres, but as throughout the show, I noticed what you were trying to do, and I'll mention that later. But I thought it was a really solid match. At the very least, I like that Del Rey got another win after her last match, her last big match, which was against Wicker in Paradigm Shift.
Yep.
So I'm glad to see Del Rey still go on this like winning streak.
Yeah. Ray is I'm really high on her. And she's going to be booked in a way that she's going to look strong. Like in my mind, she has to look strong, just like on who, like she is. Like she's that physically imposing woman. She's not super tall, but she's just ripped.
Yeah.
You know, like so that's the kind of like vibe I'm going with her. So, and I definitely did consider having Chris win, but even in defeat, Chris still looks good.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, and I'd say I've achieved that because a lot of people did like her presentation as well.
Including me.
I will say,
I will just after that small description that you had of the Ray, I have like a small prediction now that I feel like with this invading WCW force, I wonder if we're gonna get Jenna versus Del Rey. Now that you said it, I was like, is this what we're going to? If Del Rey is just gonna keep as being the strong, imposing force of OCW against the pure domination of WYCW? That's just my prediction.
Hey, you know what? Regardless if that happens in this little block or not, that is a match that I personally would like to do because I like both women, obviously. So yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, you'll have to wait and see on that. I'm not going to comment that far down. The only matches that I'm going to comment on for the future are any matches that happened at Battlefield, because if you haven't seen it yet before we started recording this video, I did post that to my channel. So if you have not seen that, or if you have not seen Double Tap either, you probably should have watched that already before you continued watching it along on this. But there are matches already announced, so I have no problem talking about them as we go. All right. So yeah, I definitely see also where you're coming from with just maybe like a little long. I do see definitely where you're coming from, because with highlights, I'm still very inexperienced, especially with all the highlight reel that I used.
Yeah.
So because my highlight style beforehand was just like the hard camera for the most part. So it's still a learning curve for me. So I'm still figuring it out. But
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. All right. So next was just the backstage segment between Shannon and Fortune. Fortune basically says to her, like, I don't know if, like, thank you for saving me last week or last show in the 2-on-1 situation. But because of how Shannon's acted basically the last 2 years in OCW, how much can she really be trusted? And that's what Fortune went to go find out. So that's pretty much the gist of that.
Yeah. I see now. I think when I was talking about the top 25 women, I mentioned how there was no continuation of that Shannon storyline, and I was quickly corrected by you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see it on this show too.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, it's fully in my mind now. It's like, oh yeah, the storyline's still going. And,
yeah. When she left, the reason she didn't wrestle on Rise of the Phoenix was because I didn't want to just bring her back
right away
with it. Like I wanted her to be like a surprise, like she is back. But yeah, like it's Shannon Ocarina, you know, because she's a big fucking deal. Like
yes, she is.
So
Miss 2-time female wrestler of the year there.
and she was what, 10 this year?
I can't. Oh yeah, she was 10 this year.
So at
I
least
haven't
she's been in the
yeah.
top 10 all 3 years.
Yeah, that's an
So
accomplishment for
yeah,
sure.
so she is top tier, if I
She's
do
doing
say
good.
so myself. Yeah.
Same here.
So yeah, that was the gist of that, because they're teaming with each other later in the show, face Emma and Soraya. Next we got Joe Angelo versus the debut of James Bourne, another new guy.
Mhm.
Joe got the win there as well.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. There was no doubt in my mind that Joe was gonna win. Like maybe a part of me thought like, oh, maybe James Bourne will get the surprise win on the OCW legend himself, but Joe Angelo was kind of in control for most of the match and then ended up winning. I'd probably say it's my least favorite just because there's not much else to go on with this match. But it was still a good match either way. So
Yeah,
not much to say there. My only my own thing is, and it's unrelated, but I really wish I still got that Max Mercury Joe Angelo match. That never happened.
you know
Tears.
what? You know what's funny about that? I
It
had
was
a
supposed to happen, right?
it was going to
Uh-huh.
happen at Immortalization
Mhm.
on night 1,
Yeah.
and then everybody was going to further believe that like you might not be cashing in that night or the
Yeah.
next night,
Yeah.
but you were still going to cash in.
Yeah.
I forget why I ended up
Was it because of
canceling
time
that.
constraints?
Um, it might have been. I could have gone longer though for both nights, because night 2 was only an hour and a half. Like it wasn't even that long
Mm.
for full show anyway. For like a
Yeah.
Mania type of show, like you would think a hour and a half would be more similar to like a B tier.
Hmm.
I guess it is the second night, but like I probably could have
Yeah.
done a little bit more. So I'm not really sure. I think it might have been time, just because I think it was a 12 match card overall.
Hmm.
So I was concerned maybe it was a little long, or it would be
Okay.
pushing that boundary, because that was something I was really trying to be conscious of
Hmm.
last season. Still am, trying to be conscious of that. But um, but yeah, um, Joe wins, catching GTS.
Yeah.
Next was Emma Skye and Soraya Knight versus Shannon Ocarina and Miss Fortune. This was one of my more fun matches for me
Hmm.
to actually make.
As a
Um,
viewer, I'd say the same.
yeah, like the double dive spot where
Mhm.
they both did the flip, totally unplanned coming into the match. I knocked, obviously, like I had Fortune knock or throw Soraya
Mhm.
over, and then I had her hit Emma off, and I was like,
Let me
double
try for
dive,
let's do it. And then bam.
and it looked
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really happy with how this match came
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing match. I'd say it's probably up there as like up there with the main event. It's probably match of the night. All four women were great. Great return to form for Shannon, obviously. I don't know. Just watching this match just made me realize just how much of a downfall Emma Skye has gone through ever since her big victory at WrestleMania 1, and then she turned heel, and then like maybe she was kind of pushed to the side because of other rising stars like Trouble. But and then with I'm talking about it later during that one backstage segment with Shannon. But yeah, overall great match. I enjoyed it, and I have to see where we go from here. So,
Yeah, the one thing that's been a problem for me definitely over the years of OCW was pushing my own talent aside for the guys of UCT and girls. And there's nothing wrong with that per se,
yeah.
but definitely the recent trend seems to be a lot of exclusivity,
Mhm.
um, across a lot of brands. Like there's a lot of shows that are focusing on their own cause while still having that UCT influence.
Yeah.
Um, and I wanted to be one of them.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, Emma will have a better year I think, than she's had the last 2 years, even though she was featherweight champion for a little while.
Yeah, sure.
It was definitely not a very memorable reign.
That was like 2018, right? When you came back initially.
No, she didn't actually win that until after she dropped the NXT championship.
Oh yeah, because she was a heel champion. Yeah, you're
Yep.
right.
So yeah, a lot of these shows are meant to build
Build
my own
back up your
people.
OGs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
While still sprinkling in a little bit, because I have a
Yeah.
couple of people overall that I want to still use, and you'll
Mhm.
see that going forward.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think a healthy balance is probably the best way to go. If not going all in with your original guys.
yeah, because it gives your own show identity.
Yeah, its own style, own identity, like you said.
Yeah,
And I really like that where we are now in UCT because I think for a while, like for maybe I think it started in like 2015 up to like 2018, a lot of the shows had like kind of the same guys in there. And like around 2018, I remember when I did the top 25, it was kind of tough to rank because like you had guys doing really good in one promotion and then they would do just fucking terrible in the other one. So it made it like very mid. So I guess that's the danger of having the same guys in multiple companies.
yeah,
So I'm glad to see the exclusivity that's happening in so many promotions.
yeah. Me
I
too.
would say I'm just scared for my own self because I don't have my own company. I don't really do that as much. So I'm kind of a guy who relies on these promotions. So we'll
Although,
see.
but Max Mercury is like in a bunch of places,
That's true, true.
so I wouldn't worry too much about it. All right, next we got Sean Force explaining his actions from Rise of the Phoenix. Basically, he wanted to break away from the mold that he was put in, and that was the basis of the promo. Made an open challenge, interrupted and accepted by new talent, Ozzy. Decent match for me. Sean wins the match there. When I was filming this, I don't know. Toward the end, I lost I think I lost a little bit of interest in the match. Because there's a part in it where like the majority of the match is highlight reel, and then the back end of it is not. Like after like at that particular break, I was like, I'm just gonna do this from the hard cam and finish the matchup. I don't know why, just in my head, it didn't click as well for me. I don't know if that came across or not, but that's how it felt for me. So
Yeah, I think probably I'd probably say maybe this one is maybe the weakest, but I don't know. I thought it was a good showing for Sean Force. I do like that he's getting more focus as a singles guy because, like, his whole history is being in the tag team, and like I don't think really got too much of his like a character focus with him, and I'm glad to see that. I would like to see him have more interesting gear going forward. I don't know, maybe that's just me. The all black, it looks cool, but it isn't like too flashy or anything. But I do like this Aussie guy. He's very like small and scrawny, which I will say he's fun to look at, and he kind of sets him apart from the rest.
mhm.
So I like that.
Yeah. He actually got a really good response from a lot of people. A lot of people seem to like him, which is nice. Sean's gear is not necessarily going to just be black. A lot of my cause, as you probably saw, can swap colors real easy, and that's I stole that from XWF, the any color thing, because I really like it. So you're gonna see a lot of my cause change color all the time.
I would
Like,
love to see Trouble in new colors too.
I can confirm she's not in her black gear.
She looks great in either way. It's fine.
For Battlefield. And I've got her gear already made for her next 2 appearances, actually, her next 2 shows that she's in. So excited about those. I wouldn't blame you if you thought this was the weakest match either.
Mhm.
Because
It's
to
either
me it
that.
was.
It's either that or the next match, but I'll get to that when we get to that.
What's the next? Oh, I know what the next one was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that too. We'll get there, but I know I think I know why.
Yeah.
All right, and after this, Sutton made the save because Sean tried to attack Ozzy post-match. Sutton, obviously his former tag team partner, coming out. Clearly, this is not over, but they are not meeting at Battlefield. It'll be Ben Fishman versus Sutton instead.
That
Yeah,
surprised me.
it's Sutton wanted the match with
Okay.
Sean, but it was not approved just yet.
Okay.
So in place of that, Sutton at least wanted to have a singles match, and Ben Fishman is stepping up
Okay.
to face him.
I do
So,
like that you're slowly building to the match, making all of us like very anticipated for it. So I think that you did a good job there.
yeah. So, yeah, some matches are like something happens, and the next show you're gonna see, but then there are other ones where it's a longer, drawn out thing.
Yeah.
So it'll vary from feud to feud, from what I wanted to do. But yeah, then we go backstage. Mosa finding trouble in the like parking garage area,
Yeah.
if you will, whatever the hell that area is called.
Sorry for the viewers. I'm going to get my charger from my laptop because I filmed a 1 hour and 10 video for the CW Awards. So just know this is not my fault. This is all your guys' fault because I do the videos for all of you.
So yeah, spoiler, the top 25 video on Sunday is an hour and 10 minutes long. I personally don't even mind that because after the top 25 women, I really want to know. I think I know top 4 of 5, maybe not in order, but I think I can tell you who number 1 is.
Yeah, you can give me your guess off camera, but I'll tell you if you're on the margin. I'll only say if you're right if you have all of them correct.
All right, I think like I said, I think I know 4 of them. I don't know if they're in the correct order, but I think I know at least 4 of them. Anyway, so Mosa Treble backstage.
My favorite segment because it's trouble.
I'm sure as soon as she came up, you're just like glued
Finally,
to the
thank
screen.
God.
Yeah, where's she
turn
been?
Off.
Yeah, like now the show's getting good. Like yeah. So Mosa came to talk to her about what happened at Rise of the Phoenix. The WYCW continuing to attack OCW talent following Paradigm Shift. It's kind of where I was going with that. And obviously during that feud, Mosa and Treble were the 2 leaders, if you were, from that. And now Mosa's not backing down, but Treble's like, I don't care about them. Like, I've already proved, like, she thinks she's already fought Star and beat Star.
Yes.
She doesn't have to like prove anything to her, and she doesn't really care about Kat or the WICW in general. So she's not in. Mosa leaves, and then the return of Yamashita attacking Treble in the parking lot area.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was very surprised to see Yamashita. Because I thought maybe this would just be like a Cat Star thing, maybe, and then but I was very happy to see Yamashita. You know, ever since she was released by WICW, and not being part of the 2K19 version. And oops, sorry, so one of the little kids my mom takes care of is also in the room. I bet you go through this with your cat, so
yep.
So I'm also now over my shoulder, kind of just little talking, making sure that she doesn't interrupt this. But yeah, I was very happy to see Yamashita. Not very happy to see her go after Trouble. Obviously, that is a big sin right there.
We'll get kicked from chat.
Yeah, Glad to see that Trouble will get at least a form of vengeance at Battlefield, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. Trouble will face Yamashita. I like how you are like an Akira Kobayashi mark from day one. I am a Yamashita mark from day one.
Okay.
It's the first WYCW show I saw. I think she was on it, and I was like, "Who is that?" Like that. She looks dope. Like,
who is she, and where can I give her the contract?
Yeah, I was literally like, Mike, bro, give her here. And now, like, I mean, I'm the only one who uses her. Like, she's obviously a WYCW original, but
yeah,
now she's like only on my show, so I kind of like it. And I wanted to change her gear. Well, not really change her gear. It's mostly just turned it black because I like the like suspenders look because it's very unique.
It's much darker, and I kind of like it. It looks much more cool, a little more evil.
Yeah. I mean, she's a heel at the moment, so
yeah, true.
and it is a heel versus heel match at.
Oh yeah. I mean, Trouble's always been the face of my heart, obviously.
Yeah.
So it ain't truly heel versus heel. I got my horse in the race.
Yeah. I'm sure if she loses, you're gonna be like, "What the hell?"
Unsubscribe. Easy.
Hated this show so bad. But yeah. Next was Jake Hall versus Mystico, advertised. They come out. Mystico says he has a different opponent for him, and we debut another new Kaw. In Nico Ortiz. And Jake won the spot fest.
Yes. So I will say I do like this dynamic with Nico Ortiz and Mystico. I think Brett mentioned it, how there isn't like that many like luchadors who often like are mentoring like young luchadors. I will say I did like that Nico is unmasked, because the second I saw him, I was like, that's just Mystico with different attire, basically. But I'm glad he wrestles without the mask.
Yeah.
Disappointed to not see Mystico. Like, I know he's not one of the big OCW OGs, but he hasn't wrestled a match since 2012. It would have been kind of cool to see him wrestle. I guess one of my nitpicks with the match was that it was kind of just too short. That's kind of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't mind the spot fest. It was different from the rest of the matches, so it had its own flavor to it. But it felt just a bit short. Like, I blinked and then I looked away for maybe a second and it was over.
I actually thought your complaint was going to be that it was too spot heavy, because I would have agreed. Because like the first big move is a step up tornado.
That's just the young. That's just the young talent these days, man. They gotta do big spots.
Jake did that. He did an imploding plancha. What did he do? He did
It's too many to remember.
There's a lot. He did a lot of high spots in this match. And his finisher is just amazing. I love it. That, like, what was it? Stardust Press, basically.
Oh
yeah. Like
Naito's finisher.
Yeah, love it. I think it's perfect for him, because he is like, of my like core group of like OCW guys, like he's the high flyer of like the most high. You probably more than
probably
DJ.
The most high flyer. Yeah.
And to have him, I wanted to have a top rope move as his finish that you don't see very often. Like, I didn't want to just do like a 450 or a Phoenix or something. I wanted like something like super like eye-catching and like unique.
Yeah, it definitely could have been the 630, because Bear would just be like, that's Johnny's move. You can't do that, Drake. What are you doing?
But really, it was Angel's move first. Alexander, I just gave Johnny it.
I don't mind it too much. Yeah, I don't mind it too much, because like when it comes to these our shows, you know, it's the same animation, so it's really like not much differentiated besides the person using it.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
Yeah,
but I'm glad he has a unique finisher that nobody else has.
Yeah, there are some like unique moves already per person, and like there are some unique taunts. Like when going back a minute, when Shannon and Fortune did the double dive and they both taunted afterwards, and Fortune's like spinning in a circle with her hands up, with like her fingers up, like very Liv Morgan-esque. That's like, she's the only one who's allowed to do that on my show. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Speaking of Shannon, her finish is the Wind Waker, right?
Yes.
Okay,
That's what it's called, but it's
yeah.
the Eclipse.
Yeah, because I had trouble remembering what it was called. I was like, I know it's Legend of Zelda based, but like her name's Ocarina. Maybe that's what I'm confusing it. But yeah, Wind Waker.
Yeah.
She hasn't used it in a while though, because she was a heel, right? And she refused to use it.
Yep, that was my thing when I turned her. I was like, I'm gonna take away the things
That people love.
and that was one of them. Like whenever she would hit it, it'd be one of those moves where like if you went to like an OCW show in real life and she hit it, it would be like, yeah, like,
hell yeah,
she hit it.
It's no troublemaker, but yeah,
yeah, it's big crowd pop for the 3 count, like that type of move. So yeah. Jake Hall wins with the Stardust Press. I'm gonna call it something else. I just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, you'll come up with it eventually.
Yeah.
I will say, even though it was too short, at least because of the match length, it does make Jake Hall look dominant in retrospect. Because he beat that Gen 4 guy like that, didn't let him have any chance at beating him.
Yeah.
So it was good in that retrospect.
Yeah. With the new people that I brought in, I still wanted like certain guys, Joe, Jake, and Sean, like to look strong and get wins, especially because they all lost at Rise of the Phoenix.
That's true.
Joe lost to MCL, Jake lost to Drew, and Sean basically let himself lose.
Yeah.
But still a loss. So yeah, I wanted to give them wins, while also making the other ones look
strong in defeat.
Yeah, like they could have like Chris Torres looked stronger than the other two in defeat for sure. The other 3, rather.
Oh yes, you're right.
So yeah, so she looked stronger than them, but they still didn't look weak by losing. Like so that was good. So then we got a Mosa promo, basically setting up the tag match for Battlefield. This was not the original plan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was I had a different idea, and it didn't come together, and I can't say too much about how it would have ended, but the match, the original plan was, I can tell you the original plan, but I can't tell you like
how it would have ended. Okay.
Yeah, so the original plan was Cat and Star were going to come out and explain their actions. Violet was going to interrupt them.
Okay.
Cat and Star were going to jump her.
Of course.
Mosa was going to run down, and then Ninja was going to make the tag match that was that's going to happen at Battlefield. It was going to happen today as an impromptu tornado tag.
Okay.
It just didn't come together the way I was liking it.
Okay.
So I reworked my card a little bit, and when we do the Battlefield review, I can actually finish my explanation of this, but it should be pretty self-explanatory when you see it.
I know why, but when you said and then the ninja, I just thought, oh, the ninja's gonna run down and take out Cat and Star.
Yeah.
Haymakers all over the place.
Yeah. Love it. That would be something, wouldn't it?
Ooh. It would have been hilarious. For sure.
That would have been completely like not off character, but definitely like what?
What the fuck, ninja?
I expect this from like a Jack Roberts or like a or like a Samoa or like a Jay Samoa.
Yeah.
Just
beating up unsigned female talent.
Yeah. Or just beating up female talent.
Bam.
No, Cat and Star signed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're on the roster.
Okay. I just thought like maybe in story though, they're just invading right now.
Oh no, they're actually still on the roster.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Just the alliance of the two
Oh, okay, I got you.
is still present from Paradigm Shift.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. And then we got the main event, Fatal 4-Way Ladder, MCL, Kevin Amos, DJ Hero, and Drew Nova.
Mhm.
Remember yesterday I was saying how like a lot of people are good at multi-man matches, and I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
that
you
great at
were.
multi-man matches. This is what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Um,
were to say like I changed my mind. This match was amazing,
no,
which it
no.
was. I liked it. I thought it was good. But
Um,
continue your thought.
I liked the overall. I liked what I did.
Mhm.
But I know for a fact that I could definitely take that time
Mhm.
to do like creative spots that involve like 3 or 4 of them at a time. Like I did it one time toward the end of the match, and it was when um, Kevin did a tiger suplex to DJ
Mhm.
into the ladder.
Mhm.
Drew got up on the apron. Kevin Irish whipped him, and Drew arm dragged him
Yeah,
over the top. That was the only time I did it.
it looked cool though.
Yeah, it was a really awesome effect, and I
Yeah.
was really happy with it. But I was like, I could do so much more things like this
Mhm.
instead of making it one-on-one.
Yeah.
But I knew when I planned the match out that that's what I was going to end up doing
Mhm.
based on DJ getting attacked by Drew during the entrance.
Which was one of my favorite things because like even though I really didn't watch OCW, I remember just being a big fan of UCT, and I always liked that well back then Drew Spade was kind of like the underappreciated little brother of DJ Hero doesn't get as much spotlight, and I was just waiting like, what if we ever got a DJ Hero Drew Spade feud? And now it seems like we're finally getting it 10 years later, and I'm glad he's finally getting the spotlight he has deserved by all this time being under your shadow.
Mhm. Yeah. When I was doing the reboot, I knew I needed some
Top
heels,
guys, yeah.
top heels at least. I knew you can kind of see who some of my top baby faces are becoming
Yeah.
based on how they've been booked so
W-
far just after 2 shows.
Would you say MCL's for me he's like in the gray area. I'm not sure if he's like a face or he's a heel when it comes
He's a
to
face.
MCL. Okay,
He's a face. Yeah.
got it.
Why
Yeah,
would you
because
say gray area?
I don't know. It's just his personality. He's kind of like cocky young guy, so I'm just like initially I kind of associate that with heel, but it makes sense if he's a face too. Because
Um, my thing with him, ever since he's been around ever since I came back in
yeah,
2018, and my thing with him has always been like MCL. Like a lot of my cause, for those who don't know, a lot of my male cause are based on real life people
mhm,
who are like my like close inner circle of friends because I thought that would be fun to do for my
mhm,
own show. Um, so the person himself is like a very like nice person,
mhm,
and very like he's very outgoing and
mhm.
he's very confident in himself
Okay.
without coming across as like being like a
Like
dick.
arrogant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that in how you portray MCL.
So like he wears flashier gear and like
Mhm.
he I guess has some flashier moves, but like
That's
that's
true.
because he just believes in
That's who he is.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
That's who he is as a person.
mhm.
So yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. Um a lot of people also did not expect Drew to win.
I'm happy
Um
he won. I'm glad he's getting it. The opportunity.
he I felt like um when DJ and MCL are battling on the ladder and he hits the top cutter and he's slow climbing his way up the ladder. He's like a lot of people I was hoping were like, oh,
Oh,
he's
that's it.
got it.
It's over.
He's got it. And then as soon as he grabs a chair shot, it's like, nope, you
Bam.
don't got it.
Nope.
That's why Drew got only clotheslined over the top rope
Ah,
and
okay.
not hit with like a super kick or something.
Yeah.
Because like Kevin got hit with skull crushing finale brainbuster, and then
Mhm,
Drew just gets clothesline. Like I could have had DJ run in and hit like a katana or a super kick,
mhm.
but that if Drew had gotten up 30 seconds later and basically no sold it, it was like,
Yeah.
well, that sucks.
It would render all of our podcasts so far hypocritical.
Yeah.
Actually, they got up right away.
So that was my decision there.
Okay.
Anyway.
yeah.
So yeah, but I know I could have done more
Mhm.
with the
Experiment, yeah.
different people.
Well, I would say like you're experimenting little by little, so that's really good. You're making progress and you're getting more comfortable with this. So that's perfectly fine with just how much you had in this match, and then by the end of 2022, you might just be a master of these multi-man matches. But
We'll
we'll
see. I have a few planned. I know that. But yeah, who knows? I definitely, from recording this show to recording Battlefield, I definitely noticed a little bit more comfortability doing
Okay.
this, doing highlights anyway.
Yeah.
So hopefully that comes across, when we
Yeah.
actually
Definitely.
see it. All right. So that's OCW Double Tap. If you have not watched the show, I
Why were
personally
you
would
watching this video?
exactly, like you should have. You know what it is? We didn't warn them at the beginning of the show. We just
Damn.
kind of jumped in because
We just accepted the views without the consequences.
yeah. But if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that you do, mostly because it's my own show, but also like you should watch all the shows in UCT.
Definitely.
Because all of them are unique and they all bring their own flavor to the table, which is great. So coming up for OCW anyway, if you have not seen the card, I'm just going to tell you. The card is Treble versus Yamashita. Yeah, big pop off moment. Aaron Kane versus Soraya Knight. Ben Fishman versus Sutton. Emma Skye versus Shannon Ocarina. Cat and Star versus Mosa and Violet. And a 6-man last chance gauntlet match between DJ Hero, Joe Angelo, MCL, Kevin Amos, Jake Hall, and Sean Force. That is what is to come for Battlefield. The show is already done. It'll be up next week.
Yay.
Yeah. More OCW.
Points for OCW.
Yeah. Come on. If you're so insistent on being on camera.
Oh snap.
Yeah.
It's the little cat's name is Skye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Say hello, you little thing.
Hello.
You're gonna get a lot of reacts in the chat when they see you
Definitely.
come out here, especially Justice again. Did you see that? The cat made a cameo. The cat made
It's a full-on surprise appearance right there.
Yeah. So yeah. Tomorrow we have another packed day. Dear God. So we've got CWO top 10 matches of 2021. We have MWE Pandemonium 6 or 7? 6. Pandemonium 6. CXW versus OCW Battleground 2 and PWF Sobre de Limite.
Over the limit.
Yep. And I think Angel Alexander versus Victor X in the second underground match that you can find on this channel
of this week, because I know
yes.
Brett will correct us if say it wrong.
Yes. And just as a disclaimer or a side note, we will be doing all of the underground matches / the Angel Ron match all in one video.
Yeah, we'll do the Angel Alexander trilogy in one video.
Pretty much, you know what? That's pretty much what it is. Like that's what we're gonna do last.
Yeah.
So just in case you don't, just in case you're wondering where those are all gonna come in one video sometime next week. Yeah, because next week now we have the first predictions show for OCW. and Battlefield and PASW on Monday.
Oh yeah,
So
a lot of stuff.
yeah, significantly less, but still good, still content for sure. So yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in to the review of OCW Double Tap. I genuinely appreciate it. Any feedback on the show, either comment on the actual video itself, link is in the description below, or comment down below. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this show, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.